That's right.
I'm even drinking Diet Coke out of a coffee cup.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to reimagine everything. You know, I'm drinking coffee out of a coffee cup, but I should be drinking out of a Coke can.
Yes, you should.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's start with leaderboards, and then we'll show the video and talk about all kinds of good stuff today.
All right, man. We got a little bit of a different approach here. Some of our pictures may be a touch blurry. We're going straight from SharePoint, which is new, but I feel good about it. Man, I wish that Eugenio Chinchilla would have came in at least third place so I could call out his name.
Well, you kind of did that. So good work.
That's right. Sharnette Allenback, Crystal Benavidez. And look at this. Camille Oakes, $20,346. That's a hell of a welcome to the show, Camille.
Yeah, we were reviewing this earlier and we're like, whoa.
I know.
Nice first week out of the gate.
Is that a misprint? Typo? Nope. As far as I know, it is not. I'm not saying that it's not, just saying as far as I know, it is not. Hang on. There we go. There's our top 10 producers.
Nice.
Camille made the top 3 first week out. Elliot Freer and Sean Hogue. Sean Hogue taking over first place with 22,861. Top app count producers. The number 1 for the week is Ben Miller. 24 apps in a week. Well done, Benny boy. Number 1, Nate Hall is the DI income producer of the week. Our top IUL producer is Robert Flores with $12,320. Number 1 annuity producer for the week is Brett Loftus with $325,000. Our top DFL producer for the week, George White, $26,511. What do you say about that, Resma?
Awesome stuff. I just want to say great job to everybody in the field. This was number 1 field submit for DFL of the year so far, really hitting the ground running. I want to give a special shout out to Karen Kramer. Everybody give Karen a big round of applause here. She just got DFL certified less than 2 months ago and has already written close to $40,000 of base and term rider premium in less than 2 months. So Jake Davis, Brian Delaney, Karen Kramer, phenomenal job. Nice work. Can't wait to see you continue to rise the leaderboard. Just really wanted to highlight Karen Kramer today. She's done a phenomenal job.
Way to go, Karen Kramer. Mike, why don't you tell them real quick what your mission is again? In case they haven't heard
$1 trillion. Come on, you guys. I've been told by Scott Forehand we need to up it up to $2 trillion after yesterday's advanced strategies boot camp. So the DFL elite team is challenging me to make it a stretch goal of $2 trillion.
All right. So there's probably some new people on the call. What exactly is $1 trillion?
So $1 trillion, we are on a mission of getting rid of $1 trillion of scheduled interest that our American families are out there scheduled to pay with their current balances of consumer debt, mortgage, personal debt, auto loans, student loans. And we are going to eliminate $1 trillion of scheduled interest by using specialized participating whole life insurance policies and our exclusive software to create a system for them to get out of debt faster than they ever thought possible and build wealth at the same time. So $1 trillion of scheduled interest, we're taking it away from the banks and putting it back into the pockets of the American people.
I like that.
I love it. And Brandon, I want to give a shout out to Mike Rasma and Jeff Sigworth and so many on the advanced market side. We've all seen the rise in APV, and I know you and Casey are going to talk a little bit about this today, about the growth we've seen as a company. We continue to break records, and over the last few weeks, guys, we've seen phenomenal growth in all of our advanced market categories, IULs, annuities, debt-free life, and we just want to send out a huge appreciation to Mike and Jeff and so many behind the scenes that are working really hard to make sure that we're meeting all the needs of our clients.
Very well said.
I appreciate that. Honored and grateful to be on this ride with you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right.
I just wish you'd be a little more fired up.
What did you say, Todd?
I wish you'd be a little bit more fired up.
I know.
Lacks enthusiasm.
A lot of
Let's
you
go!
guys,
Oh, come on.
A lot of you've asked me recently, like my backgrounds have changed the last couple of weeks in Zoom calls. I like to say a lot of that calls for change is that guy right there and the ability for him to scream louder than anybody else on any meeting. And so Brandon and Casey moved all the sales guys next door so that we can get rowdy.
I know we find ourselves kind of drifting over there several times a day too.
Sales guys at heart, we are.
That's right. Total recruits for the week in the base, Ashley and Tyler Harris, number one with 18. John Ziller with 33, dethroning the Pogue for the week. Way to go, Wild Child.
Nice.
All right. There it is. Sarah Reinecke with new riders. Actually, there it is. Licensed recruits, Ashley and Tyler. Ashley and Tyler, 17 in the base, 21 licensed recruits for the direct. Man, that is huge. Way to go, guys. New riders, Sarah Reinecke, Marlon Faulkner, and Frank Brenaz all tied for first place with 2. 10 for Jacob Pogue on the direct side. Top SNAs, Marty Valor, Jacob Pogue on the top direct SNAs with 4. Boom. Here are SNAs for the week. Bianca Bill, we'll just go last names. Tomlin, Oaks, Spangler, Ackers, Sobus, Powell, Williams, Scott, Sloan, Jackson, Schaefer, Waltall, Hellenbeck, Ferguson, and of course, Tony Spooner. Way to go, SNAs.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Love it. All you new SNAs out there currently pushing too, stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to start leaderboarding total number of apps and really highlight those that really busted it out on the run to that SNA status. So stay tuned for that.
Might even have a new little prize that we can throw in the mix. We'll see. Chris Leak, way to go, man. They said that you were nothing more than a quarterback while you were at Florida, but we show that you're a hell of an insurance agent. John Paul Vetter, $54,000 is the top AO. Larry and Ann Griffin, top agency directors. Eileen Balmer with $177,000 is the top regional agency director. Scott Summers is the MVP of today's call. Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell are the senior vice presidents with $314,909. That is a huge number compared to the field. Way to go, Kimbrells. Carl Miller is the top executive vice president. And Lynn Watkins, man, those numbers keep on growing, Casey. $841,000 is the top associate partner.
Yep.
Well done.
Ashley and Tyler as well, man. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Those recruiting numbers, I'm telling you, Tyler, you guys keep that up and you're going to be climbing quick. Summiting is what we like to say. Easy Eddie Pritchett, number one with $1 million, a little over that. I get to have dinner with Pritchett tonight.
Nice.
You guys are jealous. Marshall Whalen, the top managing partner. Heck of a week for you, Kevin Purdy. Also, man, getting to that $600,000 mark. That is a climb. Well done, buddy. So Edward,
$5,000 between Pritchett and Whalen. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Pritchett's on top this week. Every week, back and back, it seems, back to back. KP is the top direct organization, which I love to see. $196,000. Pogue, Matthews, Kimbrell, Pritchett all in there as well. Top base shop goes to, anybody want to take a guess? Boom. Frank the Tank Brenez.
Frank.
Love it, buddy. Oh, Champions Cup. All right, we're going to do something a little different today. Champions Cup winners are being announced for corporate, meaning our overall winners. We're not announcing each of the direct winners yet because we wanted a little more time to get verifications, signed, sealed, stamps of approval, all that sort of stuff, okay? But
these are the top 5 overall winners across the board with our entire company.
top 5 overall winners. 5th place. I hate to tell you, Jesse Bacharach, but you get something terrible. And I ain't even decided yet, but I would love in the Q&A if anybody wanted to give us some options on what Jess deserves for
What have
being
we given away in the past?
place.
We've given away a used urinal. We've given away
a pinata full of hypodermic needles.
a polio vaccine, was it?
Yeah, we gave away a used polio vaccine from 1974. Expired, I'm sorry. We gave away a
used
great
vaccine would be quite the gift, though.
There was a great DVD collection we gave away a few years ago.
No.
As in great, it was terrible. So anyway,
Nice work,
Way to
Jess.
go, Jess. Yep. So obviously you'll see some point ties here. Jess is like, wait a minute, looks like I'm tied for fourth place. Overall production, net place production is how we determine tiebreakers. So fourth place, $1,000 in Quality Cash goes to Brett. Way to go, Brett.
Nice,
Jeremy
Brett.
Whitaker in third place gets a vacation to the beautiful Crane Fly Court Lake House or
And
the
yeah,
Bull Creek Lodge in Western North Carolina.
that's a tough
East
one.
Asheville, Western North Carolina. That's a beaut too.
Tough one.
Ashley Richard with 28 points gets a 5-day getaway Symmetry retreat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Love that. And who's number one overall with an upgrade to paradise? That's what it's called. A trip to LeBlanc and Cabo San Lucas with a top level suite, an extra night extension for a total of 5 nights, all expense paid stay.
With a bunch of the industry's
Dola.
biggest, brightest directs.
Yeah. All the directs, probably some founders there.
Nice.
It's going to be a dandy. Way to go, Stadola.
Yeah, Christy.
Nicely done.
Well done.
All right, top 3 directs. Number 3, get something terrible. Sorry, Kyle and Lisa, but it's going to be extra terrible. Number 2, 2-hour coaching session with B-Dubs and the other Quality coaches.
Yeah.
Number 1 gets a Bull Creek Lodge retreat, 5-day, 4 nights in the beautiful city of Asheville, the countryside, if you will, including a day with the founders and leadership coaching with B-Dubs. What are we going to do a day with the founders? Well, let's see who wins, and then we'll decide. Hey, Pogue.
Hey, Jacob.
Way to go, Jacob. Now, remember,
That's
the way
funny.
you won this was being the overall largest direct. It was all about points in growth.
Yeah.
And that thing reset every single week. So, way to go, JP. That's exciting, man. What are we going to do with Jacob Pogue for a day? I mean, I'd be happy doing anything with Jacob Pogue for a day. It's going to be fun.
Considering his past, we should probably hit a bar at some point.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Take them down to the social club in Swanano.
He was a bartender, so maybe we'll get him to make us a cocktail or two.
Mhm.
All right, we're only looking at the top 3 here. Okay, so I know there's 5 on this list. We wanted to go ahead and give the top 3. I don't know why we let the cat out of the bag, but Manzano is number 1. And number
Nice.
3 gets this was already selected by Mike Resma, who, if you know anything about Mike, he is a hell of a gift giver. Number 3 gets a vintage TV VCR combo, still in the box, with a brand new VHS copy of Roadhouse.
Yes.
Bring Patrick Swayze.
That was not me.
Sam
That
Elliott.
was Ditson.
That
That was Ditson.
Oh, it's
I'm not
Ditson.
claiming that one.
Well, that's a great gift. What are you talking about?
I'll claim it. I'll claim it.
Yeah,
It was
I would do,
awesome.
man. Roadhouse.
It was tough to
Absolutely.
find too.
So I think that goes to Alicia Hudson. I know there's a tie for 30 right here, but obviously, again, it goes to Net Place Production. Second place with 1,000 Quality bucks. You can use it on leads. You can use it on clothing, direct to consumer, tech, anything you want. Glee Israel, you get 1,000 Quality bucks to spend it on. And of course, the all expense paid trip to Cabo San Lucas goes to Mr. Joshua Manzano.
Yeah,
Way to
Josh.
go, Manzano. Way to
Great
go.
job, Josh.
Yep. Beginning March 28th, American Amicable and Occidental are no longer going to be available in the owner's circle direct consumer. It was a good try. Unfortunately, it was not the best product for that situation. It didn't flow very well. It was an instant issue. So
Back soon.
it'll be back soon with something different. Okay.
That DTC, that site's getting ready to have a bunch of goodies on it in the next 6 to 12
Yeah.
months.
Yes, it is. The deadline for April level of leadership nominations is at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, April 17th.
Nice.
It seems like we're giving quite the heads up. I like that. 1 month from now, this is coming. An LOL nomination received after the deadline will not be included in the promotions, even if you text Brandon during the calls and say we missed so-and-so. Is that what I'm hearing, Todd? Is that what this is in response to? Is there?
Yeah, we're just trying to get a better reminder out there to everyone. We know we're moving fast and we want to make sure we get these nominations in and course, Kate and team want to make sure they validate that. We don't ever want to announce somebody that got promoted that might have accidentally missed it by a couple of apps. So we just want to be more proactive on our end, ask you guys, let's get those nominations in early. That way we can make sure everything is properly promoted and featured.
Well done. Today's call is mainly me and Casey. So we're going to have some announcements that we want to share with you guys.
Love for Brian and Spivey to stay on. Doug.
Absolutely, please. Doug will come on to help us with a few announcements as well. And just a little mini State of the Union. So let's see what announcements lie ahead, shall we? This is a big one, Casey.
Yes. Well, it has been a while since we've done a spring tour,
Yes.
right?
Yes, as in like 2.5 years, probably.
Yep. It's a big deal.
Atlanta, Georgia coming up on April 13th. We got Baltimore, Maryland.
This is a live tour.
Yes. Orlando,
Live
Florida,
tour.
Dallas, Texas. I imagine we will have managers that attend every single one of them, meaning the same managers that attend all of these. Obviously, top level directs, advisory board members, agency owners will be at every location. But we're hitting Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, Orlando, Florida. That's where Spivey and BW will be. Dallas, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Indianapolis, Indiana, home to the famous Steve Ramses.
That's right.
So
I think that, Ethan's been working with Edward Pritchett and can't remember the other leader in the mix now. Probably a handful of you upper level leaders getting these dates and locations locked in, also getting the content ready. It's Jacob. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Jacob, if you're on, you can unveil if you want. But this is this is a long time coming, but this is for everyone that maybe has joined us in the last couple of years, Brandon, it might be good for us to kind of talk about what these tours have done for the company in the last 12 years. We use these spring tours as an opportunity to come out to you guys, and originally we were going to have like 20 smaller events. Might have even been more than that, but with COVID and planning, trying to get hotels and capacity and all that kind of stuff, we kind of decided a month or two ago, we knew we wanted to do a spring tour to kind of come after virtual conference that we just had and to kind of get us prepared for really springboard into our Denver big national conference, which is, we have well over 5,000 registrants right now for that virtual or for that live conference in Denver at the Belco Theater. So what you want to do with these spring tours is use these as a way, if you're out there and you're wanting to build an agency or you're just wanting to get better at producing in the field. Got Ethan on too, if you want to speak a little bit to some of the details on this, but these should be viewed as mini conferences. We'll probably have anywhere from 400 to 500 in attendance expected, if not more than that, at each of these locations. We have so much pent up energy, demand for kind of getting back together with you guys and allowing you guys to kind of also use these meetings as a way to pack the rooms out, a way to build your business. This is what Brandon and I, for the first 12 years of this company, and especially for the first 6 to 8 years, used as our way to grow distribution. That was pretty much it, Brandon. We just, it's hard to really build a business if you're just kind of talking to someone on the phone, like a new recruit as an example, or this thing has to be kind of face to face, and to really get an agent to kind of see it, understand it, and trust it, and kind of lean into it with you. So you got to use these meetings as like mini conferences. Ethan, any comments there on your work with Jacob and Edward?
Yeah, just let everybody know, we made a really good decision as a company creating our events committee. So that's Edward Pritchett, Jacob Hogue, Cicely Newsome, Kellen Capps, Mike Bromage, myself, JB, Pam Fair, Joe Dindy. So we got five agents, 5 corporate staff, and all of our events, we are huddling as a committee on a bi-weekly basis and trying to make sure we're thinking about what's the best way for you to recruit, grow your business. And that's why we brought back the spring tour. What we're also doing, I think, just to let you know, is we're making sure that these events, they're free for your recruits. So they're not going to be charged a ticket. We're never going to charge a ticket for a corporate overview or a spring tour, because we don't want there to be a barrier for a recruit. We want to make sure that the only ticket we have to charge for is national conference, because we deliver such a large value and a large production value. So working with Jacob and Edward and our whole events committee, we're working to make these seamless. It's going to feel very produced. It's not going to feel like you show up to a random city in some little tiny ballroom that hasn't been thought through. There'll be pieces from each virtual summit of some of the products we're rolling out, some of the really exciting advances of the company. One of those key pieces being, it's always powerful when you bring a recruit in the room and they're wondering if they should join you. And we show Brandon and Casey's actual video. We're not a company that's just grown 5% year over year. We've experienced massive growth in the midst of a global pandemic. We actually shifted on a dime and kept growing. So Casey, I would say overall, these are going to be great, well-produced, well thought out content being designed and managed, and really going to provide that person who you're trying to help them understand if they should get in this business to know that this is a place they want to be a part of and jump in on the growth and the expansion.
Well said, man. I would be spending, I mean, from an energy standpoint and a resources standpoint, you got to look at spring tours like this, fall tours, if we do one after conference, which we more than likely will, and conference, as, you know, I'm putting 60, 80% of my energy and focus towards these events. You know, if you're somewhat new to building an agency with our company, we have some cool metrics around our conferences, and you know, we've just been doing them for so long, and we're big on kind of studying the data and the metrics that follow. We know that for every 10 people that you get to one of our national conferences, like in Denver, as an example, in the summer, inside of 90 to 120 days coming out of that, you will have about $50,000 of agency volume from that 10 people. And that's, you know, husbands, wives, partners, doesn't matter. Just you get 10 in the room, 90 to 120 days later, under the right leadership, you should have about 50,000 a month of agency volume, which will represent about $50,000 a year of passive income, give or take a little bit. So, you know, you just have to kind of do the math. If you have some goals and some sights set on Denver, which you should, to have, you know, X amount of production following that conference, you need to do the math backwards from there. If you want a $100,000 agency, you got to have 20 people at Denver. If you want 20 people at Denver, you should probably try to figure out how to have 20, 30, 40 people over these 6 locations, if not more than that. So you got to use these as kind of springboards. Use these as another way to kind of look at it. It's like a funnel. And this is a little bit, you know, this is a free event. Hopefully it'll be kind of within driving distance for some of your new candidates or for yourself. And so you use these opportunities as a way to kind of, you know, again, help people understand the vision of our company and where we're going right now, because it's that, you know, it's time to strike while the iron's hot. So excited about these spots.
Man, big time.
Big tour.
Absolutely.
2.5.
We got a lot of
Yeah,
questions too about registering. Do we need to register for these events? We can find all that information on HQ.
That's a great question. So as most of you know, we've done humongous tech developments to improve our event registration system. I mean, almost several $1 million over the past years have gone into making this sharp. So that's continuing to get better. We'll be rolling out, sending notifications. We'll also be able to begin updating our full calendar for this year, and we're close to finishing 2023's calendar for next year, so that you can begin planning for these things well in advance and having that registration system. So Mike Rummage, on behalf of the events team, will be sending that out very shortly, and how to register in our events software. So, and the notification will be sent in HQ.
Ethan, thank you for being on, buddy. Tell Karen we love her. I know we've all been thinking about you guys and sending healing vibes your way. So glad to see your face, man.
Thank you, Casey. Love all of you and appreciate the ridiculous support I've gotten from my Quility family.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Really excited about the spring tour, guys. So make sure you're putting a focus on it. And next week, we'll probably be spending a little bit more time on it as well. We will have a call next week, even though we're going to be in Mexico. with a bunch of the qualifiers for Symmetry destinations. So the call will still be going on, and we'll hopefully be digging into a little bit more on the spring tours and how to promote those. So, Brando, any other slides, or we want to get into the video and then roll up our sleeves?
Got a couple more slides.
Okay.
As everybody knows, we constantly look at the bonus programs that we have in place, evaluating which carriers deserve to be on the bonus program, which deserve to be at a 50% level, which carriers deserve to be top contracts. Announcement today, unfortunately for NLG, they will no longer be a bonusable carrier. That's for bonuses or for trip incentives. And we don't take that lightly. I know that there are a lot of people out there that write National Life Group. Here's the biggest thing you have to know. They are issuing 35% of their term life business with us right now. 35%. They're issuing about 40% of their IUL business right now. If you think you're doing the right thing for the client and you're selling based on whatever it is you're selling based on, living benefits, cheap price, whatever, if 65% of the people that you write this product with aren't getting the actual coverage, how good are you actually doing? We will give them an opportunity to get better. We've given them opportunities over the years to try to get better with their issue rates, and they just can't seem to do it. As a company, we can no longer pay bonuses on a carrier that's going to issue that low of a business amount. If you're in a state and you need other products, reach up to your manager and figure out what it is. Old Mutual is by far the better product and better comp for you on the IUL side. On the term side, you can go with Foresters and get living benefits. You can go with Foresters Your Term that also has some of the non-med features. You can go SBLI and actually sell a product that will get approved, even though, right now maybe there's no living benefits. We are going to continue to work on that. But, the bottom line is, guys, we don't take it lightly because we know that some people write this product. What we also don't take lightly is the fact that our clients are counting on us to get them coverage, not just waste their time filling out an application or waste their time getting them declined. So it's unfortunate. We hope that NLG gets better. That's really all we can say. We will have some more information coming up on, what better products you can use and why you should choose to use those products. Jason Ditson is going to be a huge part of kind of helping you guys. And I will kind of get to Jason here in just a second, but we will be having some product calls coming up for those of you that write more NLG than you need to help you understand how to write business that will actually get approved and actually help the families. So we got some double production coming up, man. We got a couple of good announcements here. Weeks ending April 1st and April 8th. Is that next week and the following, right?
Yep, I believe so.
Next week and the following. Double production, meaning for contests, and double production for ears. So don't miss that opportunity, gang. Here's a cool one. I don't know if you guys have
double production real quick. This is for just for producers, though. Not sure that that's necessarily different than we've done in the past. It may be. I think.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're exactly right.
So, and one of our thoughts on that was that, again, we want to try to sweeten the pot as much as we can for you producers to qualify for our destinations trip. We're all excited about getting down in Mexico next week and would love for more of you guys to join us. So we want to, when we start doing these double production weeks, it's more about the producer. You agency owners are naturally going to get the uplift from that because you're going to have a lot more producers out there fighting for double production. So you already get the uplift as an agency owner. There's no reason necessarily to make that trip that much easier for agency owners because we already have it set fairly doable for you guys. So you're just going to get the natural uplift from your producers fighting for double production on that one.
Yep. Good point. I've already gotten about 4 or 5 texts from managers saying, thank you. Thank you.
On NLG.
Yes. One manager said, NLG stands for your issue rate is not looking good. So,
yeah.
Sorry for those of you that are like, but my issue rate was 80%. I don't know that I believe you, first off, but unfortunately, that's NLG's kind of forced us into this point. And I do believe you if you say that. I trust you.
Yeah.
Here's Quigley.
This is big.
Quigley's out there, man. If anybody's been on CBS News or FX or NBC or the Fox News digital network or True TV or Home, I know you love HGTV, Spivey. You probably see it all the time. Fox News, VH1. I'm a pop-up video guy, so I love VH1 and AMC, where Casey goes to watch Walking Dead reruns.
Walking Dead. It's in season 48, I feel like.
Oh, so you may have seen Quigley. 405,000 commercial views, 338,000 actual unique viewers, and it is working.
We're just getting started on that front too.
I would almost say that we're like still stretching out the hamstrings.
Yeah.
We ain't even really gotten started on that yet. So be prepared to see Quigley, and be prepared to see more and more iterations of Quigley coming up over the.
Can we just pause and celebrate just for a second with everyone? We've been talking about becoming a household name for a while, and I just think it's really cool to just think about the fact that we're starting to be in households with Quility, and we're introducing ourselves to the world. And I just think that's a really cool thing to reflect on and celebrate. It's been a very long time coming, and it's been a passion and a dream of ours for a while. And I just think it's really an exciting time, certainly for us, but hopefully for all of you guys to start seeing the brand out there in front of the public more. So really exciting.
I love it. By the way, if you look at the bottom picture of Quigley, you'll look to the screen right, and you'll see Casey in his white shirt and Brandon in his blue shirt.
Yep.
We are stand-ins, for those of you that didn't know.
They didn't think our acting chops were as good as we thought they were. So,
which I don't necessarily agree with. What do they know? but we did talk to the lady in the green here behind Quigley. We talked to her about our agent and who her agent was, and there were actual, even the stand-ins that you don't really get to see much were. There's a process you have to go through to become.
They had agents, yeah. So we asked, and she said, "Who's your agent? What are y'all doing here? How'd you hear about it?" And we were like, "Well, funny enough, that's our porcupine right there." It's pretty funny. She was like, "Oh."
That's a flex if I've ever heard one. Right, that's a
flex. We flex hard right there.
You see that? That's my porcupine.
That's my porcupine.
Oh, it's good stuff. If you got any ideas on funny Quigley commercials, feel free to throw them in the chat.
Yep.
A couple of events coming up. We've got SBLI on the product discussion and e-app demo tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Monday, we've got Hayden Berger, Karen Earhart, and Alice Swan for the Monday morning call. And DFLIVIN, obviously, every Tuesday at 11 o'clock with Mr. Mike Resma. So, y'all hear Birdie in the background there? She's going crazy. I think maybe she's biting Doug. You think that's what's going on right now?
Maybe.
Doug, are you on today?
Right here. I'm not getting bitten at all.
She's not biting you, is she?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. Let's play a video real quick. And then we've got other announcements and exciting things to talk through. So let's Vail. And one of the best perks of the insurance industry that I think a lot of people don't know about is all of the trips. And it's not just that you get to go on these trips, it's how you get to go on these trips and the world-class accommodations and the events that they take you to.
Some of our agents qualify for 2, 3, 4 trips in a year, but also Symmetry has what we call our destinations. So once a year, we take all of our top people. Last year, we did Costa Rica, the Four Seasons. I think we had almost 200 of our top producers and agency owners.
I mean, you go to these places and it's the lifestyles of the rich and famous, you know, it's really cool. And they're just so unique.
Every trip has a plus one, and I have 3 kids, so I've been able to take my kids to Canada or Hawaii or on international cruises. Nothing that attracted me to this business initially, but certainly something that once you experience it, keeps you here.
It's like a bear sounds like, oh, you'll freak out.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Love looking back on those trips.
We'll be there next week.
Yes, we will.
Mexico, here we come.
Hey, so
Man,
before we get into announcements and just hitting a few highlights and where we are as a company, did just want to mention that with the help of Brian Williamson and the new advisory board, we have taken on the project to completely reimagine our national calls and how we kind of flow through the week together. And so it was time. One of the early changes that we're going to go ahead and make is that we're going to keep these calls, these national calls, to 1 hour. That was definitely something we were kind of feeling, something that we've got some feedback on too, which we're 100% okay with. We get talkative and we get fired up and wound up. So we'll try to keep up these calls moving forward to an hour. So it'll be 20, 30 minutes of leaderboards and announcements, and then about 30 minutes of content. And we'll probably dig in and do some interviewing on that latter part of the 30 minutes. But kind of moving forward, hopefully starting today is our trial run. So we got 20 minutes. So let's do it.
Yep. All right, Mr. Zay.
We appreciate the feedback. And Brandon and Casey, I think that we do need to take a moment and pause and send out some sincere celebration. Mr. Danny Young has been around the sun 75 times today.
Oh, nice.
Jubilee celebration for Danny.
Good one. That's a big one, man. Y'all, everybody give Danny a shout out in the old Q&A. Maybe you can share your best Danny-ism or memory or whatever you want. I'll love to read through those later, and we can share them with Danny. Well, down there in the Q&A, hit it. Type your best Danny memories, isms. What's your? There's so many good ones. I won't go into. I always think about the only thing that belongs in your comfort zone is your pillow. That's always a good one. And remember, he used to always say, you know how much it costs when you bounce a check? And everybody'd say $35 or $25, whatever it was. He goes, don't you wish you didn't know that?
That's right.
He said, when I was a kid, they used to give you a stick for Christmas. If you didn't like it, they'd take it from you and beat you with it.
That's right.
There's so many good ones. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Danny.
Quite a prolific bowler too in his past multiple 300 games in his high school glory days.
Yeah, what does he have, like 3 or 6 perfect games?
5 or 3 or 5 or something.
That's crazy, man. Mr. Zay, we gave an announcement last week to all the agency owners on some lead changes coming up. They can find those rule changes somewhere in HQ or somewhere. I'll let you tell them where, but just a real quick description of what changes might be heading their way.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite Danny Young is he is not, come to find out, a fan of our bark cart. Pulled me aside at one conference, told me, you call me up there and I'm heading straight out the door to the parking lot to my car and I'm leaving. It's like, I don't have control, but I'll do my best.
He made it very clear that we were not allowed to call him up. So we haven't done that yet, but Denver is coming up, Danny. So
so we made some announcements, as we're always doing behind the scenes here. We're certainly always focused on, improving accuracy, quality of resources. It's a constant process internally. Between myself and Mike Hansen's, we really just look at, how data is moving into and through our systems. So we made some updates last week on lead credits and some ways those things are going to change moving forward. So really, I think this goes back, if you remember or recall from our virtual summit, Mike was on there talking a lot about speed to lead. And in our current world, one of the things that has changed from 10 years ago is the level of responsiveness clients respect when they submit a request to us, and especially for digital consumers, really expect that they're going to be contacted quickly and helped quickly. So it's an expectation they have, and it's our job to fulfill that. And really doing this allows a couple things. It allows us to get consistent feedback into the system quickly so that we can use that feedback to help influence the lead generation tactics so that we're looking for the right kind of people consistently. And so that's a constant feedback loop, but it's also to ensure as we elevate this national brand through Quigley that people come to trust that brand and our brand with exceptional service. And that means getting to them quickly and helping them solve their problem, which is protecting them with some life insurance. So the other big thing that this work allows us to do is control cost of the resource available to you. We're the leader in our space. We're the leader in the market in terms of both the cost effectiveness and effectiveness of the resource. And that is our intention to keep that as effective for all of you as possible. So that's kind of the reasoning behind what we're doing. And the other big thing is, as we're all growing up here internally with our awesome CFO, Steve, is the impacts on our overall accounting processes and everything we need to do to keep the wheels on the bus and keep things moving forward. So a couple of quick changes. These will go into effect on April 4th. The agency owners have a presentation, so please, if you have questions, direct those to your AO. We covered this with them last week on an administrative call. So moving forward, you will have 14 days as an agent to request a credit on a lead for any reason. You will have up to 60 days to look back at leads or client information you previously received in order to request credit on that. There's a big differentiator, and something I think that we want to be clear on is we don't ever put duplicate leads in our system. And for us, a duplicate, what that really means is we don't take the same information and provide it to you as an agent and give that same exact information to another agent. That's different than something we actually do experience fairly regularly, or not fairly regularly, but on occasion we experience, which is a client submitted a request, they weren't contacted and helped by an agent, and so they submit a second request. That is the best possible information coming through our system, and our job is to make sure that information is going out and it's getting to people as quickly as possible, because that's a buyer. That's somebody who has not only asked once, they've asked a second time. So currently,
a subsequent lead.
A subsequent lead, right? So they're not the same request. It may be similar information, but it's not the same request and it's not the same lead. So the policy for, and this is going into effect for our digital leads initially, is that if a client requests our help, but they request it again within 7 days, all of that information is available to the original agent. We're working on a way, and that's in development now, to notify you if that second request occurs, so you're aware, hey, I better get on this and I better call them. So if that request comes in after that point of 7 days, and there is an application or that client hasn't been helped in an appointment book, is clients who are contacted and have appointments don't ask for our help again. That's the reality of it. We don't see people coming back to us saying, oh, I got an appointment, an agent called me and I want somebody else to call me. What they're really saying is nobody has contacted me. And so the way we're able to enforce that, if the lead comes in after that 7-day period, it will have the potential of going out to another agent within the system. So the rule we operate from there is really that if an application is submitted and there's a policy either pending or enforced, then we're not going to distribute that lead. We don't want any competition out there. We don't want you thinking your goal is to replace policies. If it's a competitor and you got a better offering, there are rules that you should know about all that. But the reality is we're trying to make sure that the people who are asking for our help get our help as quickly and efficiently as possible. So the one last change is these credits will be valid for you to redeem for 30 days. So from the time you receive that lead, you'll have 30 days in order to redeem it before that credit is no longer available to you. I'll remind you of a rule that's always been in effect and is important. because there's a potential with this system and for people to take advantage of things. And we validate the requests coming through. And if we discover that you are submitting invalid requests and you have 3 of those, then we are actually going to not approve a lead request for 90 days. So your job is to make sure the information and the request you're providing us is legitimate and valid so that we can move through those things quickly. I am aware, and we are aware right now, that there's a backlog of these requests. Just rest assured that we have an entire team focused on working through that, bringing it back up to speed so that we can really hit the ground running with the new processes coming in April. So we know for some of you may have submitted a request a little while ago, and just know that we're aware and we're working on it, and we're getting to those as quickly as we can so that we can really get back to a service level where our goal initially is to get those turned around and dealt with within a week, but ideally we'll even be able to scrunch that time frame further, but it's going to require your help in making sure that when you're submitting a request to us, that you're taking the time to make sure you've done everything you can do to determine if that's a valid lead and contact information for the client.
All right, man. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yep. More info to come, but it came to our attention just real quickly that there were certainly some people trying to abuse the system a little bit, which allowed us to really take a long look at the system. And, after talking with several managers, there's no doubt in my mind that a subsequent lead, if handled the right way, is not the best leads you can get. I got somebody asking for the insurance policy here. I got them asking for it here. I got them asking for it 3 months later, like nobody's getting in touch with them. And it's important to realize too that most agents, a lot of agents, I should say, hover around a 35 to 40% close ratio, which means that there are, generally 6 to 7 of those leads that they either never got in touch with or didn't have a good positive resolution. So our number one goal is to make sure that our clients get the help that they need as quickly as possible. Thank you for that, Mr. Zay. Appreciate you, buddy. Yep. Hey, I just wanted to clarify something real quick, Mr. Watkins. Double production for ears and for trips ending April 1st and the 8th. Double production for trips is for agents only. Double production for ears is for everybody. So huddle your teams up, get some plans on how to get more leads, and get as much production as you can. If you can catch up, maybe if you've gotten behind the ball a little bit, it's time to catch up for you. There are so many awesome trips that we have that we're in qualification mode for right now, Casey, that I don't think we talk about them maybe enough. And that video kind of spurred me on a little while ago. Buenos Aires for American Amicable. That's a big one, guys.
We never really celebrated SBLI together too, taking us to one of our favorite locations. We've actually never been to Banff together. We've been up to Whistler with American Amicable, but for SBLI to roll out the red carpet for us in Banff, Canada. So we're in qualification for that right now. So that's another good one to put your sights on.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to qualify. Got until
Forrester's too. Forrester's was, I think, Vienna and Prague. Yeah. So, I think the way that Casey and I used to do it as a producer is we would try to pick our favorite carrier that was good for the client, good for issuing business, good for everything, and load up as a producer, try to get some trips. We've had several producers that can earn 2 or 3 trips, but man, get to Banff with us, get to Buenos Aires with us, get to the Forrester's location in Europe with us. And then of course, if you qualify for any carrier trip, chances are pretty good that you can qualify for the Symmetry trip or the Quility trip as well. I've had a couple of carriers reach out to us, guys, recently, as in like this week and last, saying, hey, we want to run a contest, maybe a quarterly contest, got a $20,000 budget. What would you guys like to see on that? Give us some thoughts down in the Q&A. Would you like to see a trip? Would you like to see, let's say it's a $20,000 budget. Would you like to see $20,000 in bonuses paid out to the top 10 as an example? Would you like a motorcycle? Would you like a laptop? Would you like Quility bucks? Would you like, Hanson had a good idea the other day, Casey, where he had the golden ticket, where if you submit business, then you get that many entrants into a drawing, and maybe there's several drawings, and you could win something like an awesome e-bike, or you could win whatever the case may be. The more apps that you submit, though, the more drawing, the more entrants you get. Also, just Casey, real quickly, so while you guys are putting some thoughts in the Q&A, I wanted to just give a really warm welcome to a lot of the corporate managers and the corporate agents in general that are no longer corporate managers or corporate agents. You're all now part of the Symmetry family, which has always been part of which is a part of the Quility family. You guys have always been part of the Quility family, but this is something that's been in the works for probably 6 months, really a year. I remember Casey having all the corporate managers, 2 years ago, out to your house and having dinner, and we're so excited to welcome them in to actually be a little bit more involved in our day-to-day, because they have such an amazing skill set that I think is going to marry really, really well with our agents and what they do. So Travis Stevens, Jamin Melatia, Mo Biltaji, Dave Alvarado, Josh Manzano, Will Smith. I don't want to miss any names here. Chad Harrington, Gary Thomas. So many good people. That Alicia Hudson, that I don't know if I mentioned Alicia, that we're really excited to have you guys involved. Also, Jason Ditson. Jason, if you can unveil real quick. Jason has been kind of in charge of the sales teams over at the corporate side or Assura side for a while. Now going to be married with Mr. Todd Spivey. We'll be introducing Jason a lot more. Some of you have already had a chance to work with him. There's so many cool stories kind of coming out where Todd, you told me last week as an example, you were on vacation with the kids. Somebody needed something. I think it was help with an annuity or an IUL. And Jason has just a plethora of knowledge around insurance companies, insurance products, who we represent, what are the best cases for given scenarios. So he's going to be able to help a lot with pointing people in the right direction. I think especially as it comes to advanced markets and other types of products that aren't really as simple as what we generally do with mortgage protection or final expense or those type things, DFL as well. So Jason, man, I just, we don't have a ton of time today. I want to get you on with Todd on either a Thursday call coming up or maybe even in the next week or two to really kind of pour into your background and give some clarity to the managers on where you're really going to be able to help them and assist them in growing their business. But on behalf of everybody, man, welcome. You picked up, you moved all the way across the country to come hang out with us in Asheville, North Carolina. Some days you show up in a big yellow Ford F-650. Some days you show up in a Ferrari, and some days you show up in Porsche. Porsche. He's a car collector.
I just have a problem. That's all.
I
was welcome to buy a deputy sheriff the other morning to welcome me here to the Asheville area. So it was nice. Very gracious.
They'll do that. Hey, ask Casey. We've got a hotline to an attorney that can get you out of that stuff. It's
any ticket.
Yeah, I want to pile on. I mean, Ditson has been such an amazing addition to the team. Competency wise, you all are going to find him off the charts. But the one thing from day one that I personally just in myself, as I got to know Jason, his character, and like I said to myself, this is a guy that I could go to battle with in any situation. I trust him implicitly. So I just appreciate, when we talk about influence model, character, chemistry, plus competency and credibility. Competency is through the roof and your character foundation is so strong. So I couldn't be more excited for all the technical product expertise, as well as just who you are as a person. So, and grateful that you and Spivey get to do some damage together as well. So
yeah, I'm fired up too.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Looking forward to everybody getting to know you as well as we have over the past couple of months, man. It's exciting stuff. Casey, our goal was to end the call today at 2:00, and I think we can still do that. We've hit most of our major announcements. I know we've got about 3 or 4 more minutes. An update on ears from last year. We're working on that now. We hope to have those out by the end of Q2, as opposed to the end of Q3 or 4, as we did last year. So we're getting on it a little bit more. We're also in qualification mode for this year's distribution. And just remember that there is not a set number that we can kind of put on those gifts that you have to hit. The things that you need to be working on and focused on right now are pretty similar to what we've been saying every year, which is net place production, obviously, is first and foremost. Growth year over year is extremely important to us. How many SNAs are you spitting out? Agency owners are you developing? Overall recruits are you pulling in? How's your base shop looking? That's a big one too, because we are not just looking at the directs that have made it all the way at the top and they're kind of coasting a little bit. Like, we are looking for the people that are creating new growth, bringing up new directs, continuing to go wide. And that will allow many of you to earn more ears than somebody that technically maybe a little bit larger than you in overall volume. And that's certainly what we've always wanted to do. And I think all that really ties in nicely with so many people, Casey, are on a 90-day blitz. And it's perfect timing because we've got our spring tour coming up, as we just talked about. You and I, with Brian Williamson and all the other chiefs, had our second quarter Rocks meeting yesterday. More excited coming out of that than we've ever been. We probably sound like a record because I know we said that coming out of the first quarter. And I think when you look at the growth of 40% year over year, I mean, we're up 500 to 600 applications a week from where we were this time last year, and only growing. I think you guys are starting to understand why we're so excited, because a lot of the leadership and the managers are also excited because they're going through just unprecedented growth. I would say that where I want everyone's heads at right now is, how do I get in on that action? Talk to your managers. How do I fill up spring tour so that I can fill up Denver? And, what are the things that I should be really honed in and focused on to make sure that those two things happen? And it's, we've said it until we're kind of blue in the face a little bit. So it's leads, it's recruiting numbers. It's leads, which turn into sales. It's recruiting numbers, which turn into writers, which turn into SNAs, which turn into our future AOs. And other than that, if you can manage those boxes and you can really kind of fill up your pipeline, the rest, Casey, is just acting like a traffic cop. How am I putting people in the best position to win? That's
it. Love that. 2 boxes, guys. How many appointments can I book a week? And so if you're in a blitz right now, it's really about kind of those 2 boxes. It's how many appointments and how many interviews. If I'm building, you need to be interviewing people. You need to be interviewing good candidates right now. And there are a bunch of them. We just got off the call with Max Day on the builders call. Our recruiting numbers are going through the roof, and we are just scratching the surface. There's a massive gig economy out there looking for this. We just have to show it to them. There's a massive amount of insurance agents out there in our space that are looking for this, that are either starving for leads, starving for quality leads, starving for leadership, starving for a system that gets them in a position where they can actually create some passive income and not just totally rely on their own pen. We have those answers. You have to be busy. So how many clients can I help a week? And that starts with the appointment count. And how many interviews, how many good conversations, forget the word interview, just how many good conversations can I have a week to say, we're hiring, are you looking? This is what it is. So it's like, you just got to fill those 2 boxes up. And if you'll make that a priority, if you'll make that the kind of in destination, then what you're going to have is you're going to have a bunch of cash flow, because that's where the personal production comes in. That cash flow will allow you to invest more in the business and fill up that next box, which is the amount of interviews. And if you can be having 15 to 20 good quality conversations a week with people who at least kind of have seen our website, have seen some kind of sort of marketing materials about who we are, our value proposition to the industry. If you can have 15, 20 good conversations like that a week, if you'll fill those 2 boxes up every single week, and you'll do that for 90 days, you'll be shocked at where you are from a production standpoint and from a potential growth standpoint. So it's kind of the name of the game. We just wanted to kind of get on with you guys and let you know how excited we are about where we are as a company, let you know to lean into that spring tour, and all the other good stuff we have going on right now. Brian, Spivey, anything we leave out?
And I was going to say, if you're new and you want a deeper dive on 2 boxes, it's step 18 in the activate phase of Summit. Casey goes into some good detail there. So review that or keep working your way towards that. And I couldn't agree more with Brandon about our chief meeting. Excited about all the great growth and just synergy that we have right now.
Yeah, for me, just selfishly, again, shout out to Jason Ditson, the impact he's made in just a short time here, guys. He has a servant's heart for sure. He is absolutely a man that has been in the field for 15 plus years, knows that our product portfolio backwards and forwards, always is pouring in new suggestions, new ideas. Be on the lookout for him speaking with me on several topics, including places to look for to place your IUL business, term business, and all the advanced markets. And then shout out to all the Assura agents that are now officially part of the SFG field force here. We're so grateful, guys. You're going to be blown away with the expertise, the type of individuals these are, and the success that they've had previously is just going to light a fire under the entire organization to a further degree. So couldn't be more grateful to have them.
We are back to back, what, probably 9-10 weeks in a row right now.
Yep.
Of weeks that in the history of our company would represent like top 3 all-time records. This is the biggest record stretch we've ever been on.
Just field, just Symmetry, by the way.
Symmetry, just field. So the message also needs to be, I know that a couple hundred of us are going to Cancun next week together, and that's been a long time coming. So 2 things on that note. One is, for all of you guys that didn't qualify for it, there's nothing better than, as a leader, like leaving town and coming back and seeing your existing leaders and producers just kill it, and so everyone that's in the pocket next week, we're kind of needing y'all to just stay on this. Let's not break this record streak we have going on. So do what you have to kind of load that calendar up. Make sure you're not dropping the ball. Let's keep the momentum going. And then the second thing, for all of you guys that are going on this trip with us to Mexico, what's our mysterious 9th core value, Brandon?
Don't be a dumbass and get yourself fired on your day off.
That deserves some attention. For all of you agency owners, we do have a code of conduct. We just want to ask all of you guys to take this trip. We have fun. We get stuff done. When we say we have fun, that means that means everyone has fun, not just you. And so we want to go. We want to let loose and have a good time together. Let's just remember who we are and how we play. And Brian, if you want to, is there a spot we can go to, especially the agency owners, to get their teams prepared? Anyone going on this trip together?
Yeah, actually, that's great. A great thought. And we're going to do some more rollouts around the code of conduct probably next month. But for now, if you want to prep your agency, what you'd want to do is go to the Summit skill blocks that are located in the in Quality U, which is our learning management system, and find the Summit skill blocks under Training Center. Go to skill block number 2, and you're going to hit up that leadership course in there. And so you'll find it in the Leadership 101 course. You'll see a module on the code of conduct. So just remember, go to the Quality U, learning management system, Lightspeed, find the Summit skill blocks, find Leadership 101, and you'll be able to scroll down there. So we're happy to get that to you.
Good stuff. Thank you, buddy. All right, we went 5 minutes over, but not bad considering our first call at trying to keep these things to an hour. So we'll keep
a lot of announcements too.
A lot of stuff to cover. So, all right, thank you guys. Let's have a great week.